Hi everybody, it's Kesh, welcome back, and this is the video I promised you about Olive. If you're new to the channel, Olive is a stray cat who showed up 2 years ago, and after a very lucky and privileged life, she is regrettably dying now. She has jaw cancer, and the vet said she had about 8 weeks to live. I think we're about 4 or 5 weeks into that maybe. And yeah, she's not well right now. In fact, I haven't seen her in about 18 hours, maybe longer. She's gone from sleeping on top of things like chairs and beds to sleeping under things, which she was for a while, and I think is currently inside, actually physically inside one of the mattresses. One of the things she did when she was a kitten and very frightened when she arrived was claw the underside of the beds and the couches away. So they're all dangling down in a really messy way, and I think she went inside the bed to hide. She is very scared again now. And I think the painful thing here is that she's gone from being, as weird as this sounds, a soulmate, a confidant, a friend, somebody I really felt I could talk to and who understood what I was saying, which is quite peculiar from a cat. But really, I was just convinced she was a human with a fur coat on. She was so intelligent and so attentive and so empathetic. But she's gone from being that person to barely recognizing me, I think. We had one last couple of nights where she slept under the bedspread on my bed, and since then I've barely seen her. And when I walk into a room, she runs off and hides because she sees that I'm trying to bring her pain-killing medication, and she doesn't want that. In fact, this is one of the most interesting things. It's almost as if she looked at me one day and was saying, "Stop trying to help me. It's my time." Now, I did pictures for her a while back, energy pictures, and there was a coil of light coming out of her head. This I took to be the soul leaving. And the soul must leave gradually over a period of time, because the soul is almost like our passport, our ID. It's what makes us us. And as the soul gradually leaves the body, what makes us us becomes less so. And I think our duty as human caregivers of other humans, actually, but also animals, is to make it as comfortable as possible for their souls to leave. I did her pictures again a couple of days ago, and this time more of the soul was leaving, which would explain why she doesn't really recognize me anymore. But more than that, there was a blockage in the way. It was like there was a glass cube. Would be invisible. I had to draw it, but it would be invisible. And the soul was having to go around it. And I thought about this for the longest time, and it made me think maybe with our compassion, our empathy, our desire to see people live, because we want to live, and with the help of medications, surgery sometimes, pills, whatever is available, we extend life. Remember I said this about the transition pictures for Sir Nicholas Winton. He lived to be 106. And the pictures, when I did them, suggested that he lived beyond his time, that it should have happened before that, but his years were extended. Which made me think that when I've done transition pictures over the time, and I've said, oh, I couldn't do this person, or that person didn't appear, or whatever, or they refused permission, I thought it was simply about them waiting in line, coming around the corner and going, hey, I'm ready now. And I couldn't do them before they were ready. Now I'm starting to think that I couldn't do them because I wasn't ready. We weren't ready to hear the message that they had to convey. If you remember Neville Goddard, the mystic, he went to his light, his transition, and he was perplexed about why he had to die at the age of 67. And Grace said, because we have other things for you to do. Maybe Olive has other things that she has to do in a future incarnation. With Julia Child, what I learned from her is that dying is really a process of extracting the spirit from the human form, from the body, and extricating the soul from the grip of the ego, which can be very controlling. And I wonder whether by administering medication and by doing surgery, by all the treatments that we are blessed with in modern life and modern medicine, whether we are tampering with the natural flow of things. And there is a time for us to go, but the ego doesn't want to go. We want to stay. We want to live. There's more for us to do. But there are other things that Grace has lined up for us. So my feeling with Olive is that when she gave me that look that said, please stop trying to help me, that was a lesson that I had to learn about letting go, about not having that kind of attachment that controls and dictates to the universe how things will go, because universal will is far greater than my human will. But also to learn this massive lesson about the soul. The soul has a job to do. It knows what it has to do in a lifetime, and when the time comes for it to go, it gradually leaves. I've done my grieving. I did my grieving when I felt it was unjust that something so beautiful and empathetic should be taken away at only 2 years old. Since then, it's been a matter of watching her wane. And now that the majority of her soul has left, apparently, and is only being stopped from going completely by that blockage that I've been putting in the way with medications and painkillers and so on, my job as a sign of reverence and respect for the dignity of this beautiful creature is to be hands off and say, okay, go. I'll do no more to stop it. But I think she may have come here simply for this purpose. I mean, there have been many, many advantages and many, many beautiful moments, and moments when she was completely in sync with my thinking. Over the past couple of years, I have done so many transitions. I think like 150 transitions. They're on the Soul Crossings channel, archived, if you want to see them. But Olive was there for most of them. In the early days, I found them very distressing and very hard to do. I wasn't expecting to be so impacted by people's lives and deaths and so on. And I would get quite weepy. And at those times, no matter where she was in the house, Olive would come running and sit on the table beside me and lean against me. She would lean over against me on the table and watch me draw these pictures, as if to say, come on, we'll do this. We'll get through this together. Come on, you can do it. That was her gift to me. So that when I knew she was slipping away, when she was still Olive, I walked around the house with her pressed to my heart. And I said, come on, we can get through this. You and I, we'll do it. Whatever it takes, we'll get through this. And really, that's the last time we had that connection. It's almost like that was her permission to go. We completed the circle. And so we're in the end times for Olive now. And I think we'll know in the next few days, because as I said, I haven't seen her for 18 hours. She's somewhere in the house, but I have no clue where. She's found a hiding place, a secret little nook, and that's where she is. And many of you said, and thank you very much for all your messages, by the way, but many of you said that's what she will do towards the end. She'll hide. She'll find a secret place where, because she's vulnerable, she can know instinctively she won't be attacked, and will gradually go. If I have to help her, I will. But for now, I'm just taking it hour by hour. But the soul journey of this cat has been the most intriguing aspect of having her around. I am removing that glass block and allowing the soul to leave. Alrighty, that's it. That's the update. Thank you very much for watching. And obviously, I'll keep you posted as we go along and see what happens. Thanks a lot for all your messages and all your support. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure Olive does too. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.